before you became a member of the family of God, when you said, Lord, I accept you, you said, Lord, I've decided to stop being me and start being like you. If that's not where you are, you missed the whole point. We don't do church. We are the church. It ain't a place that you go. It's the people that you are. And when you make a conscious decision to become a child of God, you got to get to a point you stop looking around for everybody to serve you. You'd be surprised how God can begin to use you when you stop looking at yourself.
Yes, sir.
But Brother Hubbard, you ain't never had nobody talk to you ugly and just walk off on you and not treat you right. I'm a preacher. That comes with the territory. I get dogged out all the time by preachers too. But you got to decide you ain't moved by nobody. Only one that moved me is the Lord. When you understand that, you got to understand, then that means that God has you here for a reason. He's got you for a purpose. In our passage, he emphasized this idea that my prayer for you is that you get in a place where you can be functional, where you got value, where you can be used, where you can work. Come into the vineyard to work. There's a purpose for you being here. God has you here for a reason. Paul said in Ephesians, he said, walk circumspectly. The word circumspectly means walk carefully. But watch how you walk circumspectly, redeeming. Redeeming. The word redeem means to purchase. Purchasing the time wisely. Steve Jobs died as a multi-billionaire. Multi-billionaire. He died in his 50s. He couldn't pay for another minute of life. Do you not realize that the most significant thing you have in life, there's one equalizer in all of life, it's called time? I don't care how much money you have, baby. There are some folk who have a limitation of money, but everybody got a limitation of time. So Paul says, I want to challenge you to walk circumspectly, walk wisely, purchasing your time wisely, for the days of evil or mischievous. What you say, Paul? Paul said, whatever you do with your time is how you, what you did. I did nothing. No, you did something, baby. You paid for that. What you did on this past weekend, this weekend, I didn't do nothing this weekend. I just sat back. No, you paid with time. Sometime I was traveling in Southeast Texas buying some boudin at a restaurant, right? And while I was in this place, one guy said, "Man," he said, "Man, I can't wait till I can't wait till Friday." You know, there's some of y'all living for Friday, living for the weekend. What happens when you're living for Friday? Do you not know that every day that passes by is a day you will never get back? If you're living for Friday, you threw away 5, 6, 7 days. You got nothing left but Friday in your mind. You better learn to live every day while you got it. You only have so much time. This may be your last 6 months, your last 35 years. And the time's amazing, Sister Pittman. I've come to understand that as you get older don't seem as old. Well, you're different than me. As I get older, it feels to me like as I get older, what seemed like young, 57 seemed real old a few years ago. It seems so young and vibrant now. As I get older, 60 looks so attractively youthful and young. When I get 8, I feel the same way. But something happens in life. You begin to realize every day you're getting older. Time is passing by. Paul said, purchase your time wisely, for if you don't, the days are evil. Or he's saying that if you don't watch how you spend your time, foolish things will steal your life.
Yeah.
TV will steal your life. What's the last 10 years been like? Oh, for the last 10 years, I caught every part of Maury Povich and Judge Judy. My last 10 years have been filled with all these great shows. I was home every day at 4 o'clock. I watched every game they played on TV. I watched every part of the sports. I spent the last 10 years memorizing every game and every player and who was successful. Did you learn any Bible? Well, I didn't have no time to read the Bible because I was trying to catch all the programs on TV. Foolish things will steal your life. What good that's going to do in the bigger scheme of things? If you brought nobody to the Lord, you'll stand there and God will say, my child, you came into my body. I let you in. I gave you gifts to use inside of my church, and you didn't do anything. Do I know you? No.
Oh my goodness. Mercy.
It's bad enough that hell's ahead for some folks. All I'm declaring is, you got to make sure that you're actively doing what God has put you here to do. He put you inside the body for a reason. He put you inside the body for a purpose. He wants to put you in a place where you can function. Last but not least, look at verse number 10. The lessons are yours. He says in verse number 10, therefore I write these things, being absent, lest being present, I should come using sharpness according to the power which the Lord has given me. I have authority, saying, but God has given me the authority to come and to edify you, or if I have to destroy you. He's given me the authority to build you up or take it down. Many occasions I've said to my children when they were home, I'm leaving home. When we come back home, I want this done at the house. If it's done, you be edified. If it's done, you be built up. If it's done, I'll reward you. If it does, we'll celebrate. But if I come back home, you have not done what I told you to do, somebody in this house is going to be crying. And it's not going to be me. God says the same thing to you. I've given you a gift. I put you inside my family for a reason. I've given you a purpose to live. And I want to build you up. Paul tells the church of Corinth, he said, my intent, when I come back, he said, if you get stuff straight, when I come back, I can come back and build you up. I don't want to have to come back and tear you down. But if I have to, I will. God declares right now to you, my child, that I want you to understand. I come back here, I want to build you up, I want to bless you. And for some children of God, I want you to realize right now, with your children and the kids around your household, and those you're trying to mentor or should be trying to develop and trying to mentor, you want to express them, I want to build you up. I want to see you do better. But if I have to, I will tear you down to build you up. But if you want to build somebody up, you got to give them a path to take. Whose life is closer to Jesus? Because of you. Not even your own children. Not your own family. Is your words and life so empty that nobody cares to hear what you got to say? If it is, it's that way because you're not spending time investing into other people. Every time there's a prayer request, there's a chance to bless somebody. Every time there's a class needing taught, there's a chance to bless somebody. Every time there's a chance to be used for the purpose of God, it's an opportunity to discover the reason that you're here. I got to close, but let me tell you this. I've often said this before. You don't find your purpose in life. Your purpose in life finds you.
Sure does.
Every time you find the church has a need for someone to do something, you get involved, you take a place, you put yourself forward, say, I'll be helpful, I'll be a participant. You discover yourself, finding yourself where God wants you to be. I got to close up with that. We were members of the church in Southeast Texas, and attending the church in Beaumont, Texas, and you know, we had some issues inside the church. Some folks was prejudiced. I was in Wednesday night class, and a sister in the class was talking about how all the white folk like this and like that. She was going off and said, that ain't right. We don't look at folk like that. I told you before that there's a Sunday morning Bible class. It's back in the back. After Sunday morning Bible class, they sat back there smoking cigarettes in the classroom, opening windows. That's messed up stuff, ain't it? Yeah. When I heard about this stuff, I started talking to the preachers, and somebody says something about that stuff. They say it's right. He said, well, why don't you put a lesson together? I'll say something. I put a lesson together. I worked on my sermon for a whole year. That's a long sermon, bro. By that time, I was in a different congregation. My dad said to me one Sunday morning, he said, son, you want to preach tonight? I said, well, I didn't bring my one-year sermon. He said, well, you know, put something together. So I preached that night. Later on, job went on strike, a different congregation in the area, close to where I was living at. The company's on strike. While I'm over there, what takes place began to, the preacher's wife came to me, well, Hubbard, we got a young man in prison, in the county jail. Would you go visit him? Sure. Started visiting brother in jail. I'm talking to him in jail. He said, man, you ought to start a class in him. Okay. Started a class in the county jail. Started teaching and baptizing folks inside the county jail. As that began to grow, the preacher's son was preaching an hour and a half away from where we lived at. Called me up and he said, Hubbard, look, man, I got a church. I'm about to move from here to go somewhere else. Would you be willing to come and preach with this church? Sure. Large church. When I got there, they had 2 members in the congregation. So we got that. I brought more folk than we found. Every Sunday we drive an hour and a half to preach to 2 people. And then we got a bus and drove a bus, drove 6, 7, 8 people with me to service every Sunday back and forth across the country. And then my dad was preaching in Coos, Texas, and he was leaving Coos. He said, son, now Coos was a lot bigger than the church. We had 2 members when I was where I was. I left there. We went to Coos, Texas. Coos had like 20 members. Big church, man. We would start preaching because every time a door opened, I said, Lord, whatever. Somebody needs to visit. I'll visit. Somebody needs prayer. I'll pray with them. Somebody needs you to come by and study the word. I'll study with them. I don't know much. I'll give you whatever I got. All right. I never could even imagine in my mind that God was going to have me. I'd never been to Indiana until I moved here. I'm so blessed that I've been here to meet you, sweetheart. God bless you. God bless you. But I want you to realize that God has a plan. And He begins working His plan by your willingness to surrender and say, Lord, here am I. Just send me. Lord. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here. Whatever I can do to help. It ain't about nobody else. Even the folk in your life that irritate you and bother you, God's got them there for a reason. Better make sure you stay straight. Some folk irritate you because you need that irritation. God knows what He's doing. There's some folk make you pray. Lord, I need you, Lord. God, if it wasn't for that person, please, Lord, help me. I got to pray because if I don't pray, I got to pray just to make it today.
Oh, Lord.
But whoever God has in your life, they're there to achieve something He wants to accomplish with you.
Come on, Lord.
You just got to learn how to surrender your will. And say, Lord, I'm open to let you use me. He knows what He's doing. Just do your part.